Hello, I'm Michael Grimm, and I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today about our national security. This is a very complex matter, and we can't afford a congressman that needs on-the-job training. There's several aspects of security that must be evaluated for our community to remain safe, starting with physical security. My experience in physical security began at the age of 19 in the United States Marine Corps. After applying that extensive training during combat in the First Gulf War, I furthered my military training with law enforcement experience as a uniformed police officer for the FBI. I have to stress this need for physical security because here in Brooklyn and Staten Island, this is where we are most vulnerable. Critical infrastructure, such as the elaborate energy grids controlled by Con Edison and National Grid, are prime targets for terrorists. Many of us and our families work in Manhattan, where some of the top terrorist targets, like police headquarters, the FBI building, federal courthouses, and the Empire State Building, among many others, are located. With my experience, I will be able to successfully fight for the federal funding we need to protect our security priorities. Because I worked with these agencies for over 13 years, I can articulate exactly why our local, state, and federal law enforcement needs funding approved by Congress. Of course, physical security is only one of many aspects of our national security concerns. We must remain ever vigilant and steadfast with a realistic foreign policy and rules of engagement that protect our troops in harm's way. Combining my military, law enforcement, and investigative experience as a special agent of the FBI, I have the experience to effectively deal with these extremely challenging issues. I say extremely challenging because the threats to our way of life are not easy to identify, and there is no one solution to stop them. From nations like Iran and North Korea, who seek a nuclear advantage over the United States and our allies, to the porous border along our southern states. From the conventional terrorist threats growing in Yemen, Somalia, and Southeast Asia to the war in Afghanistan. We must take aggressive action, set realistic goals, and follow through with the execution and enforcement of our laws and objectives. First, we must do everything we can to prevent Iran from furthering its nuclear objective, including supporting the Iranian Sanctions Enabling Act. Second, we need a leader who will stand up against the liberal administration led by President Obama and Nancy Pelosi by seeking real immigration reforms, which must include securing our borders once and for all. Yes, we need to build a fence and man it with the Border Patrol and National Guard units where necessary. Third, we need to stop coddling terrorists and treating them like common criminals. Islamic extremists, terrorists, are waging war, and we shouldn't allow them to hide behind our Constitution when they're trying to destroy the United States, and that is why I strongly advocate for military tribunals, not criminal courts in Lower Manhattan. We need to work with our allies, like Israel, our strongest ally in the Middle East, and not isolate them. At the end of the day, the threats we face are real. They're complicated, and they're not just going away. We need individuals in Congress that have been tested. As your next congressman, I will bring this experience and training with me to Washington to make sure we have the protection and security we need to keep our families safe. God bless you, and thank you for speaking with me, and God bless America.